Hey everybody, how's it going? I don't have my microphone here. I'm at a sushi place. I just wanted to show you guys one cool thing about the sushi restaurant. So this is green tea powder. This is real green tea powder. Here's my glass. I can put as much of this as I want in there. Nobody cares. This is pretty healthy stuff. And then they've got like super hot water right here. Just, I don't know what the temperature is, but it's so hot that I almost can't drink it. Okay, take care. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Big Lair here on Jack's Private Coffee Corner. Hope everybody's doing well. It's January 20th here in Japan. It's a Monday. Things are going pretty good here. Got some nice weather. They told us it would be the start of the cold season here from today. However, the temperature is pretty warm. Can't complain. I think when I got up, you could see your breath, but felt pretty nice, almost like a spring day. The start of spring, January 20th. So we'll see how it goes. Now that I've said that, maybe we'll get a real cold snap in the next few days, and it'll dip below zero or something, right? Well, 0 degrees Celsius, which is, minus, well, not minus, it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but 0 Celsius. So if you're not in America, everybody's using the metric system, so we would use Celsius here. Anyway, pretty good weather, can't complain. Thought I'd do a crypto update here and just talk about some of the coins I like and the coins that I will be watching in 2020. Okay, got a few comments here. Had to write these down. Don't want to forget anything. Wow, what did you guys think of this past week or so? We had a nice pump in cryptos, and then what happened? By this morning, everything is retraced almost. We got some higher highs. I'll give it that. Got some higher highs. And then some other coins, if you hadn't looked at the market at all in about 4 or 5 days, you would think nothing happened, right? Okay, so, the last video I did, I told everyone, I said, hey, my guides have told me that the powers that be, that's the name we'll use, okay, the powers that be, they have their control mechanisms in place. They're happy with what they have. And not this last pump, but the pump before that, which was around 2 weeks ago, I think, that was their test. That was their test to get everybody on the same sheet of music. Not you and I, because we're not in the club, right? But they got everyone together and said, okay, we're going to do this test. We're going to pump some coins. And you guys, practice selling at the highs, taking some profits. So they ran their test. Everything was smooth. Everyone's on board. They work the kinks out. I mentioned that, right? Now, this last pump, this was the start. Okay, this is their first live, let's go for it, make a lot of money pump. We pumped pretty nice on some coins, and then boom, we've retraced. So the smart money people, which I'm just going to call the powers that be, maybe there's some traders out there. There's some people like myself who are watching a handful of coins or a number of coins, and you've got some very serious, solid price targets in mind. You know your entry points, all that stuff you got to figure it out. So when the targets get hit, boom, you just sell. And then when the price retraces, like it has done these last 2 times now, then you buy back and at a lower price, and you just increase your amount of coins. Now you could also, let's see. Recently, now first, wait, let me just get one thing out of the way here. I'm not giving anybody advice on what to do, no financial advice. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So for my educational and entertainment purposes, I recently sold some Tezos, twice. Tezos in the last month, we'll say. It was actually over a month. I sold some Tezos at my first target price, sold some at my second target price. Well, then what did Tezos do? Oh, I love Tezos. It dropped down so that I could buy back some more Tezos. I think I gained over 100 Tezos or something like that. That's pretty sweet. And the whole thing took 1 month, exactly 1 month. I've been keeping track of it. So now what could happen with Tezos? If it goes down even lower, great, because I have one more spot that I want to sell at lower so I can buy back even more coins, because I've got 2 sells and 1 buyback. So I still have 1 more buyback I would like to complete. Okay? If it doesn't happen, I'm fine with that. I'll just take my profits and put them in a different coin. And if Tezos goes up and hits my 3rd target price, well, I'll be really happy and I'll just sell it. Okay? So I could, like I said, I could take that money, and when Tezos goes down, I could buy back at a cheaper price and get more coins, or I could put that money into something else, or I could just pull it out of the exchange and stick it in my pocket, right? So you have to understand that the powers that be will now be doing this for the foreseeable future. 2020, I think, is going to be very interesting, because I know they have this control mechanism in place. It's not total control, it's not perfect, but they have enough control where they can pump certain coins and then, let the balloon inflate, so to speak. And then when they're at the point where, yeah, we made some money, they just stick a needle in the balloon and watch it deflate back down. And when it gets to a price that they're happy with, they're going to buy back. So I can't knock them, right? I mean, I want to do the same thing, or I'm doing the same thing, except that I do not have control mechanisms in place to control markets like they do. I'm just taking advantage of the situation in the same way that they are, and I think a lot of people are. In my opinion, the smart money, as I mentioned earlier, we'll say the powers that be, other investors, whoever, they're going to be doing this. They're going to be doing this. Now, I understand there are people out there who will say it's too complicated, I don't want to do it, it's risky, I'm just going to hodl. Hey, that's great, just hodl until it reaches your hoped for high price, whenever that happens to be, and then sell your coins and get out, right? There's nothing wrong with that either. There's lots of people, if we go back and look at the stock market, there's lots of people who continuously bought stocks, and then at a certain point in the future, they got rid of them, and then boom, they're super rich. So for all of you who are hodling, you're just going to hodl, I hope that happens to you. I hope, all the coins you have reach the prices you hope they will in the future. You cash out and become independently wealthy. That is my hope for you. And now the rest of us, or the other people who, for whatever reason, we're just too fidgety. We just can't sit and hodl. We're watching things go up and down and asking ourselves, why the heck am I not taking advantage of that? For educational and entertainment purposes, you just need to do something like that. I guess we'll be doing some trading. Now, I'm not a day trader personally. It would just drive me crazy to be in front of a computer screen and watching things so carefully. I just simply have, target prices. I pick a number. For example, let's say I bought Tezos and my average buy-in price is $1, right? So I entered the market at $1. And I say, well, I'd like to get 30%. I'd like to make a 30% profit. Well, then I have to wait and sell at $1.30, right? So if I do that, I'll gain 30%. A 30% gain is very respectable. I don't know what most people think. There's lots of people talking about a 10x, a 100x, a 1000x gain. I'm 51 years old. I've been out in life a little bit. I've lived in 3 different countries now. I understand banking, and I know that to make 30% interest in a year is no easy task. In a year, I'm talking about a year, right? In fact, I won't say in what country I was in, but I worked for a company, and we had some investors. They invested a large sum of money in the company that I was a director in. And I asked them, what are your goals? What do you hope to get out of this investment? And the one guy said to me, if we can make 6% per year, we'll be very happy. 6%? I said to him, my God, man, if you went down to the so-and-so bank, they will give you, with the amount of money you have, I'm sure, 5%. Easy. You could easily negotiate 5.5%, just letting your money sit there. Why would you go through all of this work, build out all of this infrastructure for just 6%? It's crazy, in my opinion, right? Now I know there's a lot of other things involved that I'm not, talking about. I'm really simplifying things here. There's tax implications and whatnot. But, you know, these are professional investors and they're hoping for 6%. Making 30% is a big deal. It's really a big deal. Now, with my Tezos trade, how long did it take me to make 30%? A month. In a month, I made 30%. So you have to kind of step back at times and say, whoa, let me get my feet back on the ground. You know, get yourself out of la land and say, you know, this is the reality of it, right? You have to decide, you know, what do I want to get out of my cryptos? What percent will I be happy with? If you're happy with 15%, hey, more power to you. More power to you. I just felt like with Tezos, 30% could be done, and it was done. And then my second target was 55%. Boom, that got hit. And I'm not bragging. I'm not saying this to brag or to be egotistical in any way. I'm just showing that, you know, when you get into this, you have to be an adult about it, be mature about it, and decide what are your target prices. You know, how are you going to do this? This requires a little bit of thought, and it requires self-discipline. You know, when your target prices are met, you have to sell. Okay, a lot of people they're gun shy about selling. They're like, oh, I love this coin, I've had it this long. Oh, why am I going to sell it? You know, I may never be able to buy it back at this price. Yeah, that's part of it. You got to be mature. And, you know, if you've done things right, you've got an exit strategy all worked out. And so all you're doing basically is just, oh, okay, condition A was met. So then look at, you know, you should have like little cards for yourself. If this target price is met, you know, sell this many Tezos or sell this many Neo, whatever you're doing. So it's a no-brainer for you. And you've decided this all beforehand. So it's, you know, it's not someone else forcing you to do this. It's not scary. You know, you decided it, right? Okay. So, you know, as I said, the powers that be, they've got things in place. They've done their second pump now, and it's going to continue for the rest of the year as far as I can see. And it is what it is, right? You just have to go with it. Go with the flow. If they're going to be pumping it and then letting it retrace, I don't want to say pump and dump because I don't feel like it's a pump and a dump. It's a pump and then a retracement. They want to make this look kind of natural, right? They don't want to, you know, give away all their tricks, so to speak. So just be ready for it. Okay, the other big news, oh man, Veritasium, oh Jesus. I've been following Veritasium almost from the beginning. I want to say maybe there were a couple videos on YouTube about Veritasium and the Vader system, and man, I was watching it. You know, I remember Reggie Middleton, you know, walking around with his iPhone, you know, taking like selfie videos, talking as he's walking down whatever street in New York, talking about his system. You know, I can remember in the very beginning, I watched everything I could about Veritasium and the company and the Vader system and how you can secure assets and all this stuff and, you know, trading precious metals and whatnot. I was fascinated by it. I think Reggie Middleton has created an amazing system. It's just out of sight. In fact, once I really understood the magnitude of what he had created, then I got a little worried. Because I thought back to Martin Armstrong. Maybe some of you know who Martin Armstrong is. This guy had something similar to Reggie Middleton. It was a different era, but he had something similar that helped him become a very successful investor. The government wanted it. He wouldn't turn it over. They stuck him in jail for how many years? You know? Wow. So this is an example of the golden rule. Whoever has the gold rules. They will make the rules. They will do whatever needs to be done to get what they want. And so I was worried that Reggie Middleton, you know, at a minimum, this guy was going to get a visit. He was going to get a visit by somebody, and they were going to tell him, we'd really like you to, number one, stop talking about what you're talking about. Number two, hand this over to us. And, you know, maybe they had a little bit of incentive. They had pictures of his family or pictures of something and said, you know, we know what everyone's doing that you know, wouldn't it be terrible if someone, had an accident? So the pressure gets put on, right? The pressure gets put on. And of course, we don't know what was going on in the background. I'm sure something similar happened because, in the end, the Securities and Exchange Commission goes after the guy and gets all of his veritasium. That's how it sounds to me, at least, right? So, there are other CEOs of very large companies that this has happened to that I've watched. I won't mention them here, but I thought, boy, at the minimum, they're gonna give this guy a serious warning for him to stop what he's doing and hand it over. And then if he doesn't, some pressure will be applied. He might be put in jail. He might have an accident, that would cause him physical harm, like a freak accident. Oh, Reggie went boating. He's not a boating guy, is he? No, he's never been on a boat before, but geez, he decided to rent a boat. He fell off and God, he almost drowned. That kind of stuff. Or hey, his new BMW, the brakes went out. That's weird. That kind of thing would happen. And at the worst, I thought, he could maybe, like they'd end it for him, just take him out that way. Of course, that would raise a lot of suspicions. But I thought, he's got something of that magnitude that, if America wants something, they get it. They'll go after it. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what your country is or where it's located. If they have something you want, they will get it. They'll ask nicely for it in the beginning, and then if you don't give it over, certain events will take place to where you just have to give it over. So, that's just part of the world, part of the reality we're living in. So in a way, I'm a little relieved that, Reggie is still physically okay, although he may not be feeling physically okay with the situation and having his veritasium basically being taken over by the Securities and Exchange Commission. But he's a very intelligent guy. I think he has a lot of integrity. He made a fantastic product once. Will he bounce back from this? I don't know. I like to think he will. He just seems like the kind of guy that will not give up, right? He's got a certain drive. When you see him and you watch him when he talks, he just has that certain moxie. He's got a certain charisma to him. It's just not the you might knock him down once or twice, but the guy's going to get back up even stronger the next time. So personally, I'm looking at this. I was wanting to buy veritasium for a while, and my buy price was $15. It hit my buy price. However, my rule is that I'm not putting any new money into the crypto market. I'm taking money from, trading, making, profiting on trading. And then with those profits, I was going to buy some veritasium. I thought 15 was a good price. Man, it dropped down under $4. I think it's $4 and something now today. Let's see, I've got the prices all written down here from this morning. Yeah, $4.23 as of early this morning. Now it's the 20th for me here in Japan. And for some of you, it might still be the 19th, the evening of the 19th, wherever you are in North America. So personally, I think veritasium is a good buy. If the government wanted, if the U.S. government wanted veritasium that bad, they must see tremendous value in this thing. So I haven't looked at all the angles. There's always an angle, right? Who's going to benefit from this? So that has to be looked at. But I think veritasium possibly, most likely, for entertainment and educational purposes, it could be a very good investment. Okay, let me just stop a second. I'm sitting here Japanese style with my legs underneath me, and I've been sitting here for 20 minutes and my legs have completely fallen asleep, so I've got to adjust myself. 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Oh man, it's a good thing I go to tea ceremonies here in Japan sometimes. If you go to a tea ceremony, you have to sit like that. Well, you don't have to, but they prefer you. It's considered polite if you can sit that Japanese style with your legs underneath you, folded underneath you at a tea ceremony. I mean, you can sit Indian style. When I was a kid, if you had your legs like that, they called it Indian style, right? You'd have to sit on the floor in school or whatever, So anyway, if you're you're non-Japanese like I am, you can go to a tea ceremony and sit that way, Indian style. But if you can sit with your legs, folded underneath you like a Japanese, it's considered a sign of politeness, and they really enjoy it. Especially, they know you're a foreigner. They know we're not used to sitting like that, so it means even more to them if you can do that. So I'm used to doing that. Oh yeah, and at the beginning of the video, I forgot to mention, I had the little clip there of being at a sushi restaurant. And at the sushi restaurant, I'm just going to adjust something here. You noticed I had green tea powder. Green tea powder. Now, that stuff is not cheap. It's not cheap even here in Japan. Most people drink green tea every day. They don't get that pure powder like that usually. Well, some people do, but they'll have like the tea leaves that have been ground up, crushed up or whatever, and they make fresh tea with it. So that powder there, luckily the town that I'm from, or where I'm living, is famous for green tea powder. And this is the real strong, bitter green tea powder, the stuff that's really good for you. They say it, it's good, fights cancer and all that stuff. So yeah, where I'm from, it's famous for that. So whenever I go places, I can usually get that stuff for free. But in other parts of Japan, if you go into a restaurant, you may have to pay a little something for it. And it's pretty amazing. They just have this, each table has a huge container of this powder. You just cram in your glass as much as you want. You saw me, I think, do the hot water. They've got water that's almost boiling when it comes out of that thing. You saw me push it, right? That's nuts. Like, who drinks water at a boiling temperature? My God, those people are crazy, huh? Like, I think 212 degrees Fahrenheit is boiling, 100 degrees, Celsius. So this is probably about 97, 98 degrees. I believe it says in small print on the thing. Be careful, very hot. This is the temperature. It's like, holy crap, I can't drink it for like 15 minutes after I do that. It's just way too hot. So anyway, I digress. Getting back to cryptos here. So we had the powers that be, right? They've got things in place. They're going to be pumping and letting things retrace for the whole year. Get used to it. I do think we will trend up. We'll pump, it'll retrace, but the prices will establish a higher low as we go up, right? Because hey, the powers that be are just like us. They want to see these things go sky high eventually. And because, they're going to have a gazillion of them anyway. So that's what I think is going to happen. Okay, there'll be these pumps and retracements, but the lows will be higher lows than the previous lows. Now, we may have some episodes where there are everyone's talking about it. There should be, one really, really super low coming up here. And that's cool too, right? Because if you've positioned yourself, and if you're looking at, your price targets, and you've sold a few of your coins and you're just waiting for things to retrace or to go down to a lower price in order to buy back more coins, you'd look forward to a severe correction, right? Okay, so that's kind of in a nutshell what I think. Too bad about Veritasium. Although for educational and entertainment purposes, I think Veritasium's token might be worth something in the future. Okay, now I want to switch gears here and talk about some of the cryptos I think are going to be good for 2020. Got my computer screen here, so if you see me looking off to the side, I'm not checking somebody else out, like some girls walking by or anything. It's just me looking at my computer. Okay, now I've been looking at pretty much the same coins for over a year now. I've been putting out videos for about 7 months. And I've got 18 coins that I'm looking at. I'm not going to tell you all the coins because what fun would that be? But, these are the coins I think will be successful into the future. Of course, I've got some ones that are, what can I say? Well, I think I've only got two on my list here that are iffy, but everything else I feel pretty confident about. Okay, of course I've got, the usual suspects: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, XRP, EOS, Stellar Cardano. And I should mention, I've got my three amigos, my three buddies, Neo, Tezos, and OMG. Way back a year ago, exactly about a year ago, I started noticing these three coins had very interesting up and down patterns in price. So I thought to myself, hey, wait a second. They're kind of trading between this band of prices here. All three of them were not the same band of prices, obviously, because Neo's worth more than Tezos and OMG, but each coin would hit these highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. And then I just said to myself, I'm going to trade these darn things. I talked about it for a while. I kept notes on it. Saying, okay, today I'm going to imagine I sold my Neo. What happens? Then a week later, like, oh man, it went down. Okay, I would have bought it back today. Boom. So I felt pretty confident when I started doing this. And then last summer, between July and September, I think it was, I was able to double my Neo just from trading it. Not putting any new money in, just from trading it. Saying OMG, I was able to increase that 91%. Now, and then one thing I completely forgot about, which would have made my numbers look even better, is when it got to be November. In November, I was looking at one of my accounts on an exchange, and I realized I still had about $80 left over in stable coins from my OMG and Neo trading. So, actually those Neo and OMG numbers could have been a little bit better, but I'm going to stick with doubling my Neo and increasing OMG 91%, and then $80 left over, which I put into another coin, which is kind of a secret coin. I'm not going to talk about it. But that secret coin, if it goes back to its previous all-time high, it will have to rise 8,604.46%. I don't know about you, but that's pretty awesome. Okay, so, oh man, did I turn my light off here on my computer? Okay, sorry about that. And my excitement talking about the secret coin there, I turned the light off here and hit the cord for my computer switch. Anyway, talking about this, this secret coin. Holy moly, it's only 1.15% of its all-time high, the current price. And as I said, if it goes back up to its previous all-time high, it will have to increase 8,604.46%. That's a pretty nice return, I think. So anyway, getting back to these coins, I pretty much have every coin I think that most people talk about. Like I said, there's Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, XRP, EOS, Stellar Cardano, the three amigos, which have been very, very good to me, Neo, Tezos, and OMG. I've traded all of those very successfully, very happy with them. Digibyte, I've been a big Digibyte guy since day one. Theta, I like that. In fact, Theta, I'll never forget. I was looking at Theta. I can't remember how I found Theta, but I found myself on Theta's homepage looking at it, wondering if this was a good coin or not. The very next day, I open up my web browser and I go over to YouTube. I've got a video there from JSnip, that bald-headed dude from down south. Seems like a pretty nice guy. I've never met him, but it seems like a nice guy. I'm kind of joking about the bald dude thing. But anyway, a lot of my favorite people are bald now. But I see a video in my feed with JSnip and Michelle Whitedove. And I had heard of Michelle Whitedove, so I watched his video. What's the coin she loves? Theta. So for me, that was like a huge confirmation. The day before, something had brought me to that page, and then the next day I watched the video with JSnip4 and Michelle Whitedove, and I'm like, boom, okay, Theta, it's a done deal. Theta, if you've had Theta for any amount of time and you were part of that Theta Fuel 5-for-1 giveaway, man, you turned out, that turned out pretty sweet. That was a sweet, sweet deal, right? And did anybody get rid of your Theta Fuel? What'd you do with it? Did you invest it in some good coins? So Theta has been very, very good to me. Okay, now there are some coins I don't have any of that I like Ethereum, Monero. Let's see, that one's like kind of a secret one. That one's not so secret. I'm not going to talk about it. Secret. And Veritasium. So there's 3 coins I won't talk about just because that makes life fun, right? I can't like tell you everything, right? You won't appreciate that. That's how it is in life, right? You tell people everything and then they don't take your advice seriously. So I've got to hold something back. And if any of you are parents, you'd be smart to do that with your kids. Don't tell them everything. Let them figure a few things out for themselves. So anyway, I think all of these projects are solid, very, very solid. Lots of people here and there. This person, this psychic has weighed in and that psychic has weighed in. And, people have been getting into really small market cap coins. My personal theory on that now, I get impressions on things all the time, and I've only got impressions on 1, 2, 3 things, 3 coins that I haven't mentioned. Those are the ones I've gotten good, I felt good about. They resonated with me, and there's not really too many people talking about them, so we'll just see how it goes. Now, I will tell you one thing. Let's see, what was it? Yeah, a while ago, someone wanted to pay me in cryptocurrency, and I said, well, what do you got? And I was thinking like, they're going to say Bitcoin, because I'm in Japan here, right? Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. A lot of people think XRP is big in Japan. It's not really big in Japan. I go all over the place, meet lots of people, and I ask them, hey, number one, most people have no idea what cryptocurrencies are. There's a word in Japanese for it. Actually, the word changed. A couple of years ago, there was one word, and then boom, everybody changed to start using a different word. The average person has no idea what cryptocurrencies are here in Japan. And they sure as hell don't know what XRP is, interestingly enough, huh? But anyway, so I'm thinking something like, I knew XRP wouldn't be one of them, but I'm thinking, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. This person says, I have Ethereum Classic. And I'm like, what? Ethereum Classic? And that was just one coin I didn't know anything about. And you got Ethereum Classic. I don't even know what that is. Do I even have a wallet that will accept that? Well, yeah, I did. So I accepted their Ethereum Classic for payment. And then recently I noticed like, wow, it's almost up, this recent pump. Wow, Ethereum Classic was up about 3 times, almost 3 times from when they paid it to me. So that was a pretty good deal. How often can you get paid and then as the money is sitting there, it becomes worth 3 times more? That's fantastic, isn't it? So that's another coin I'm going to keep an eye on, just because it was so odd that someone wanted to pay me in it. So I thought, is this a message from the universe? Okay, I'll go for it. And then it pumped recently, so I thought, wow, okay, good. The next time it pumps, though, I'm going to sell it and see if I can buy it back cheaper. So we'll see how that goes. So I've got, 15 coins that I told you, plus the 3 mystery coins. Those are very solid projects in my opinion. Most of these are at the top. Veritasium is very small market cap. I mean, my God, let's see, last night. So I look at market caps every night, and then in the morning I wake up and I write down the prices of cryptos. I've been doing it now for over, I don't know, many months. Anyway, a market cap of Veritasium as of last night was $10 million, $10.1 million. It was down 49% from last Thursday when it was at, $19.9 million. So it's really taken a huge hit, of course. And it's funny because the trading volume on Veritasium, the daily trading volume, on any given day, it could be between, I don't know, $3,000 to $5,000. Sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's a little bit more, but it's usually around $3,000 to $5,000. When the news broke that Veritasium was going to hand over their tokens to the Securities and Exchange Commission, I wasn't able to check the price on cryptos, but a few hours later I was. And on the app that I use, not CoinMarketCap. I use a different app. It said the daily trading volume was $195,000 on Veritasium. And I thought, holy mackerel, this is going to drive the thing right into the ground. Now you have realize on a coin like Veritasium, the trading volume usually is like 0.01%. If you're lucky, it's 0.02% of its market cap. Very low trading volume, very low trading volume. So even on that low trading volume, the price moves up and down. And for those in my Patreon group, they've heard me talk about this for weeks now. Like Veritasium would be a beautiful coin to do day trading on because the price really moves a lot within a day, within 24 hours. So anyway, I know what the volume is on this thing. And then I see that volume like, man, this is going to crash that down. But interestingly enough, the price, went down to under $4. It didn't crash to zero. So that tells me a lot of people were selling it, getting out of it. They're thinking, oh crap, the ship's on, the Titanic's going down, jump in the lifeboats and get the heck out of here kind of thing. But there are also a lot of people scooping it up because they can see the opportunity there. So that's pretty interesting. So that's the probably the one coin that I'm looking at besides two of my mystery coins that have very low market caps, but I think, could turn into something in the future. Everything else is a very stable, very, what could you call it? Top-notch crypto. Will some of these cryptos, will all of these cryptos that I have here be around in 5 years? I don't know. I would like to think, not like to think, but I'm thinking that with, if you just consider technology and how things are going in the world, we'll have new cryptocurrencies, absolutely, that will probably do things better and faster and more efficient. And, maybe some new system will replace this. I don't know. Maybe there will be some new development in software which will make blockchain technology like, a million times faster or something, right? I don't know. So looking forward to all that kind of stuff. So those are the cryptos that I'm interested in, that I recommend. And this isn't a very detailed talk or anything. I just wanted to list the cryptos that I think are going to do well in 2020. If you want to hear more, I've got a Patreon page. If you don't, that's cool. You can just hang out here on YouTube and see what I post. I hope everybody has a great week. Wherever you are, I hope it's at least as warm as it is here in Japan where I am, or warmer. Winter kind of gets crappy. It's cold. If you're in the wrong country, you don't see the sun very much, kind of makes people depressed. That's not good. Luckily, where I am, we have sunny weather. It's pretty warm, and all the mandarin oranges have been in season the last month now. So it's pretty awesome to get fresh citrus fruit in the wintertime. I think Arizona in America has a similar thing going. They get a lot of citrus fruits in the winter. That's awesome for your health, right? Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment. If you're not a subscriber, hit that like bell, hit the subscribe bell if you think you're going to get something worthwhile here. Everybody take care, and I will see you in the next video.